Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of the problem. Excuse me, I got to turn that down on my phone. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. I really do appreciate y'all. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. Child Abuse Awareness Advocates United. There's the help me sign right there. Hey there, Jackie. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in, girl. Appreciate you. Hey, Peggy, you made it. Woohoo! Thanks for coming in. Good to see you. Chris said he's going to be at a Christmas party, so y'all enjoy the holidays, which you can. I appreciate every one of y'all. This one really upsets me. It angers me. Let's go show Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, be the case of the widow. Hey, Cash, good to see you. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Well, wherever the Christmas party is, it could be at work or whatever. So we had the parade here in town yesterday. So let's go over here first and show this. This commercial appeal journalist covered the important moments in Memphis. Support their work. The story has been updated to include the results of the defendant's detention hearing. Court documents detailing the charges against a former youth pastor and recently convicted sex offender have been unsealed in the U.S. District Court, Northern District of Mississippi. I kid you not, she did not get enough time, okay? The federal indictment of Lindsey Whiteside was announced during an October 23rd press conference with Desoto County Sheriff Thomas Tuggle, who said Whiteside had been arrested with help from the U.S. Marshals on federal charges. The documents detail 3 charges. Counts 1 and 2 are for transporting a minor across state lines for the purpose of engaging in sexual activity, while count 3 is for coercion and enticement. Okay, and she did not have to stay in jail, she got house arrest. What say you? No jail time. And she even took this teenager across state lines from Tennessee to Mississippi. Whiteside, 26, allegedly took the victim from Tennessee to Mississippi and later from Mississippi to Georgia, according to court documents. Whiteside has pled not guilty, and it would right there it said she remains in federal custody, but no, not anymore. Right there, okay. On a local level, Whiteside pled guilty on October 13 to sexual battery of a minor, was sentenced to 3 years of house arrest and 7 years of probation. Prosecutors were seeking a 30-year sentence. DeSoto County District Attorney Matthew Barton has also filed a motion to re-sentence her and called her current sentence illegal, citing Mississippi Code 4751-003. The code prohibits offenders convicted of sex crimes from being placed within an intensive supervision program. There it is right there. Stop sharing that. Tell me what y'all think of this so far. It just starts so early nowadays. Yeah, Christmas does. It was really cold here the other day. We had ice on the windshields today here in Tennessee, lower Tennessee. Y'all like something funny? It's really humorous that in Kentucky that they arrested this Mr. Grinch. I like that little ploy. It was kind of cute. New judge appointed in state case against Lindsey Whiteside. This comes after Desoto County Circuit Court Judge Andrew K. Hosworth recused himself from the case on October 21st. Okay, but now we know further details, okay? But he had recused himself and said a new judge had been appointed to preside over the state case against Lindsey Whiteside. She pled guilty for sexual battery of a child by a person of trust or authority. She was not only the pastor of a church, she was also the assistant basketball coach. So that's pretty pathetic, right? Said, however, Barton filed a motion for resentencing, citing Mississippi law claiming that a defendant found guilty of a violent crime is prohibited from serving their time on house arrest. Instead, the district attorney is advocating for Whiteside to be under the custody of the Mississippi Department of Corrections. Get her in jail. Do y'all agree? Put her back in jail. Get her out of house arrest. In his recusal letter, Howard said, statements that made by Barton have brought an unusual amount of attention to the case, putting a target on the backs of multiple individuals involved, including himself and witnesses called in to testify in the case. Howard went on to say that his level of attention would necessarily impair his ability to make an unbiased decision. So Whiteside is also facing a federal case for the same incident and was most recently ordered to be remanded into custody after a judge revoked her release. She has pled not guilty in the federal charges. Let's see if she really is. Where's she at? So here is, yeah, house arrest is nothing. You got that right? Let me try to make this smaller. There we go. Every time I change the screen, it just goes on to makes that big again. See this lady here? Do we want to call her a lady or what? Desoto County School Board votes to remove this chair after Lindsey Whiteside controversy. She was speaking up for this predator. Yes, we want her gone, right? She does not deserve to be on the school board. That. The Desoto County School Board has elected a new chair after the previous position holder sparked outrage for the community over a letter she wrote in support of a former teacher and youth minister convicted of child sex crimes. So she was trying to get her to speak up for her credentials. People like that, you make me so angry. After hearing from the public during Thursday's open meeting, board members voted unanimously to strip and battle District 2 Representative Michelle Henley of her role as chair and to promote Gerald Wheeler to the post. The move followed calls from enraged parents and community members for Henley to resign. alleging that she used her official title to sway a judge's opinion of former Desoto Central Assistant Women's Basketball Coach and Get Well Chief Youth Minister Lindsey Whiteside. She actually raped her inside of a church. Whiteside is accused of having a sexual relationship with a female teenager between the ages of 14 and 15 from May to November 2024. Camara, we do not want to call it saying it's a relationship, okay? That is a minor, okay? That is not a sexual relationship. That is rape, okay? She pled guilty to sexual battery of a child back in October and was sentenced to 3 years of house arrest, a punishment many DeSoto County residents, including District Attorney Matthew Barton, felt was too lenient. I believe so too. Henley's influence was believed to have been the catalyst behind the light sentence. The federal government, however, stepped in with a grand jury indicting Whiteside on a charge of transporting a minor across state lines for sexual activity. If convicted, she faces a minimum of 10 years behind bars. Barton, when prosecuting the case against Whiteside at the state level, sought a 30-year sentence. Here's her with dark hair, okay? Excuse me. Former Get Well Church minister and DeSoto Central High School assistant basketball coach Lindsey Whiteside has been indicted by a federal grand jury for sexually assaulting a teenager. As per Henley's remarks, the school board member wrote about how Whiteside coached her daughter and helped improve her basketball skills. Henley referred to Whiteside as supportive and helpful when discussing the role the coach played in her daughter's life. Excuse me, she did a crime, she needs to do time. Lindsey was always encouraging, supportive, and helpful during their training sessions. She continuously gave my daughter pointers on how to improve her game while encouraging her every step of the way. Henley wrote of Whiteside's character. When my daughter made the team, we sent Lindsey a text to tell her. She was so excited for my daughter and again encouraged her to keep working hard to get better every day. Middle school can be hard for a young person. I am happy to say Lindsey's encouragement and support helped my daughter not only make the team, but have a wonderful middle school experience. What about the other child? There's got to be other victims around there too. This can't be the only victim she had too. Concerned parents protested at DeSoto County School Board meeting on October 16th, demanding Henley's termination. Though the District 2 representative was not present, parents showed up again this past Tuesday with Henley in attendance and levied similar demands. For displaying signs of read, "Protect kids, not pedos. You go, all right," to give an impassioned pleas for a change of the guard and board leadership. Attendees made it clear that they would not sit silent until Henley was held accountable. She is a sympathizer of pedophiles and molesters. I don't know why, because I have people in my family who I sympathize with, but when we're talking about children, Michelle, you pick what's right for children, not what's right for the molester. One parent who said her children went to school with Henley's said, "You showed us where your judgment is. You need to go." Right on. Tyler Littlejohn, the stepfather of Whiteside's victim, stepped up to the podium and scathed Henley. Henley had previously contended that she never extended to defend Whiteside, but to recount a personal interaction between the two. Littlejohn took exception to that account and accused a school board member of demonstrating reckless judgment and defending a pedophile. "You said you don't condone what she did, but you sat by her side. You wrote that letter to soften the judge's heart to give mercy to a person who had committed a sex crime," Littlejohn said. "I cannot trust your judgment. You blindly did a favor for your daughter to write a letter for a predator, but you did not know what she was charged with. You didn't do your research. You just said yes." While multiple board members distanced themselves from Henley and made it known that they wanted her to resign voluntarily, she refused to do so. But the board did use its collective power to remove her as chair. As of now, Henley will remain on the board as a member. No, she needs to go completely off the board. No, that's not good. She's still on the board, people. Come on, parents. Write that school board. Get her gone. Get her out of here. I can't believe the light sentence in some other offender. Exactly. That's really messed up, ain't it? Okay, let's see this next one. You might actually get to see a video on this one. Make sure you can hear the sound. Put a 1 if y'all's able to hear her, okay?
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, the temperature dropped, furnace wires chewed by a mouse. The stockings were hung by the thermostat with care, in hopes that best care would soon be there. The children were nestled all snug in their bed.
All right, Ron, thanks. Now to a local story we've been following very closely. Lindsey Whiteside, convicted felon, former high school basketball coach and youth pastor, was in federal court today. Her attorney said the new federal charges she's facing are retaliation to the outcome of her state case. Action News 5's Imani Williams was inside the courtroom.
Federal Magistrate Judge Jane Verdon ruled to allow house incarceration for recently convicted felon Lindsey Whiteside as she waits a federal trial for new charges.
We were pleased with the judge's ruling. We thought it was fair.
Whiteside walked into the federal courtroom Tuesday shackled, wearing an orange jumpsuit, as her attorneys argued for her release on bond pending a federal trial. United States Prosecutor Parker King argued Whiteside is a danger to the community and pointed to her issue of finding a home compliant with her sex offender registration. Whiteside registered as a sex offender as part of her sentencing, but soon after she was notified the address she provided was disqualified because of its location. The prosecution brought up DeSoto County Sheriff's Deputy Miranda Fox as its witness. Fox worked directly on the state case. She said there were more than 60,000 pages of text messages between the victim and Whiteside, some sexual, but no photos.
You hear that? Over 60,000 pages of evidence?
Also noted Whiteside was a danger because before sentencing, she was allegedly seen waving at the victim in a parking lot and crossing paths with the victim. The defense fired back, saying that was never brought up by the DeSoto County District Attorney's Office as a violation of Whiteside's bond conditions. Whiteside's attorney said the DA's office is working in retaliation.
This was a subsequent prosecution, and it appears it was retaliatory, in my opinion, caused by the district attorney's office because they were really unhappy with Judge Holworth's ruling.
Tony Faris said these new charges should have run concurrently with the state charges. DeSoto County Sheriff Thomas E. Tuggle III said this indictment was a year in the making. Faris said that is not the case.
Bottom line is, she gets sentenced in state court October 13th. They present this to the grand jury October 23rd in district court. So it's a subsequent retaliatory indictment.
The defense brought up Whiteside's mother, Gail Whiteside. She explained that she has been looking for a home across DeSoto County for Whiteside to be compliant with the sex offender registry. For now, Whiteside will stay in federal prison for 2 reasons. The prosecution asked for a 24-hour stay until they decide if they want to appeal. And Whiteside has to find a home that complies with the sex offender registry. Reporting in Oxford, Imani Williams, Action News 5.
Hey, what y'all think about that now? Hello there, Stephen. Good to see you. Can y'all believe that? What y'all think about that? But they said it does not, her lawyers are saying, well, it does not, she didn't know. But yes, she did know, because part of her probation is she's not supposed to be around anybody in the case. She showed up at that girl's work at that girl who she victimized at her work. She waved at her, and she went and hid in a closet. So, excuse me, yes, I think she needs to go to jail because she wasn't supposed to be around, right? These people getting away with too much. And it's not retaliatory, it is protecting our children. Desoto prosecutor seeks resentencing a child sex offender given house arrest by judge. We've seen that a few minutes ago, I believe. Yeah, let's get out of that one. That one already was there. And that was a school board right there. And now let's go to back over here. What's that messed up right there? Okay, let's go back over here. Good to see you so much, Stephen. I'm going to read somebody's post at Facebook, and they got every right to say it. A former youth minister who groomed and sexually assaulted a minor was only sentenced to house arrest and probation earlier after pleading guilty in Desoto County, Mississippi. What an embarrassing day to be from here. A family that has made this place their home has been completely failed by the community and by some of the educators and people they considered friends forever, especially those who wrote letters in support of the predator. Disgusting. Anybody who helped Lindsey Whiteside get out of this with such a light sentence should be ashamed. Imagine this happening to your son or daughter. And then watching people from your community support the person who assaulted them. How would that make you feel? Because that's how a family is feeling tonight. And has been made to feel for a while now. It really is outrageous. The district attorney asked for 30 years and said a man under the same circumstances would likely have gotten 20. But Lindsey Whiteside only received 3 years of house arrest and 7 years of probation. Again, shameful. That's ridiculous, isn't it, everybody? So that's that. So what y'all think of 60,000 pages, right, of evidence? And yet, she gets a slap on the wrist. I don't call that retaliatory. I call that justice. Let's get that girl justice she so deserves. We're tired of people. And she was a minister. And she actually took her into the church and actually did something in the church with her, too. So low down, disgusting. I tell you what, she might have some people that's pulling for her, but I believe the good Lord above would not be pulling for her. It's better to tie a millstone around your neck than to harm one of these little ones, which, believe in me, let me go to find that Bible verse right quick and I'll show it. I don't know if y'all can see the full-length version of it. So let me get it back the right size. I hate how it keeps changing my screen too. Okay. Matthew 18, verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. There's her with blonde hair, and there's her with brown hair. So you get to see the two faces of her. This is, like I said, sentenced to 3 years of house arrest and 7 years of probation. Here's her picture right here, Brown. Looks totally like two different people, don't it? But it's the very same person. Oh, could you see the whole scripture? Go, okay, let me put it back over there again. Okay. Sorry about that. In Matthew 18, verse 6, can you see it right there? Okay, I guess I need to minimize that page. Matthew 18, verse 6, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Matthew chapter 18, verse 6. So, y'all please stand up for our children. I really appreciate y'all coming in. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Get the word out there. I hope that the government, that they will make her pay even more so. I hope anybody that sticks with her also will face repercussions, like losing their job for the school board. Thank you so much, everyone. May God bless you.